Hello and welcome to Drunk Tolk, the Lord of the Rings podcast book club for boys who like cans. You know the drill at this stage. I'm your host Ross and I'm joined by the lads. Lads, how are we?
Very well.
All good.
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. So yes, this is chapter 5 that we're recording here today. A fairly short chapter, ladies and gentlemen. It's about 8 pages long, so sit back and relax as we turn this into 2 full 45-minute long podcasts. You're shite dog. So like I said, yeah, I'm your host Ross, and we've got most of the usual customers here today and a special guest. But I'll go as I see them. Firstly, Oisin, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Ross. How are you?
Yeah, not so bad. Did you do your homework?
Oh, I did indeed. I did it twice. I enjoyed it so much.
Why good not? Stuff. Yeah, good. I'll come back to you, don't worry. Bull McCabe, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Did you do your homework?
I did it last week. I read on and did my notes then, and now I don't know what the fuck I wrote down.
No worries. You're not that interesting anyway, so I might not ask you too much. Owen Duffy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, tops. And did you do your homework?
I did, yeah. Again, good read.
Good read. And then now we've gone for the extra.
Well, I'll stop you there, Ross, because you forgot to ask everyone what they're drinking.
I said I was going to come back to them.
Did
I
you?
not just say, Oisin, I'll come back to you?
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Don't question my hosting skills here. Like that's twice you've shoehorned yourself in there on early doors.
I didn't hear you. Apologies.
Before I was so rudely interrupted there, we have gone for the extra kind of head on this podcast just to give it a go. So instead of a podcast of 4, we're going with a podcast of 5 to see how it goes. So we've gone to get him back on after popular demand. It's special guest Deggy. Deggy, how are you?
Rossi P, how are we getting on? The king is back, baby. The king is back.
Yes, Deggy. Couldn't be happier to see you again, to be honest.
The people's champion, give the people what they want. That's what we do here, Ross, We give the people what they want.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we follow the Patreon donations and they shot up when you came on first.
I knew.
Not that you'd see a bit of that now, to be honest.
No. This is a charity. I'm writing this off as a tax thing, So,
And come here, Deggy, did you actually do your homework this time?
I did my homework last time. Excuse you. But listen, it's not really homework, If I enjoyed homework as much as I enjoy this sort of homework, I would be a fucking doctor.
Well, I suppose that's what it is. Enjoy what you do and you don't work a day in your life. And
exactly.
Now we're professional podcasters, it's fairly easy. I'm going to go in reverse order here then to ask the second question. Owen Duffy. So, Deggy, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the classic Irish red ale Smithwick's.
Nice.
It's a classic, you can't go too far wrong.
Yeah, I love it. It's kind of a love-hate kind of drink, isn't it? A lot of people I know would call it ditch water.
Yeah.
But I would like the Smithwick's. You don't really get the hangover bad with the Smithwick's, or maybe it's my imagination or a placebo.
No, that's exactly my thinking, and that's why I went for it. It's the smart man's choice,
And would you ever go for a Smithwick's with a Guinness top?
Do you know what? I've never had one. Is it good?
I never had one. You see the old boys drinking it in Smith's and this kind of thing. I just don't have the stones to order one.
That'd be their equivalent of a cocktail.
Yeah, essentially. That's like a foreign drink to them.
This week.
Yeah. Very good. Well, you enjoy you on the bottle or the can, Smithwick's?
I'm on the can, I'm on the can.
Man of culture.
Man of culture, exactly.
Right, good stuff. Oh, Duffy, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Brewdog Hazy Jane.
What in the name of God is that?
Good question.
Craft beer.
It's a New England IPA. Yeah, it's just a craft beer. It's nice.
American job, is it?
No, it's I think it's English. Ellen. Brewed in Ellen, wherever that is.
There's something about that company that they were on Dragon's Den and got turned down, and now they're worth like millions.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. They've just exploded. That's why it's always coming up on my LinkedIn for some reason. And I was like, I don't know.
Doing a bit too much online shopping.
I don't follow them or anything like that. But that's good. It's nice. It's got a bang of like grapefruit. It's very, that kind of
fruity.
Yeah, fruity ale. It's nice though. I'd recommend it. So if Brewdog, if you want to sponsor us, jeez, this is the best fucking beer I've ever tasted.
Yeah, we're not even lying yet. About the beer. Well, very good, very good. Bull McCabe, let me guess, hold on, let me guess. You're on some kind of like triple distilled aged whiskey Napoleon drank or something.
No, I'm sticking to the hazy theme by accident. It's a hazy little thing IPA by Sierra Nevada. It's brewed in California, just to piss you off there with the old air miles trying to get
Foreign muck, huh?
Yeah, it's really good. And I have some more Sierra Nevada. I got like a little sample pack of some of them. A pale ale as well lined up.
Right.
Speaking of Brewdog though, I mean, there's some nice knockoffs in Aldi of that Brewdog stuff.
Is there?
Oh, yeah, you've told me about this before.
Yeah,
What's it called?
yeah.
It's called Drewbog or something.
So there's Punk IPA is a Brewdog beer. And then there's the Aldi equivalent, which might as well be called Anti-Establishmentarianism IPA. I don't know how they even fit it on the can. But it's a complete rip.
Lovely.
And there's kind of like a little... it's quite possible they're actually brewing it for Aldi. And like just building off on the, you know, the publicity of, oh, you're stealing our...
I seen something like that on LinkedIn. They Aldi have their own type, but I think Brewdog actually make it.
For them.
I think so, yeah.
Like
Sneaky.
That's twice Owen Duffy's mentioned LinkedIn
yeah,
now.
Owen Duff, he's sponsored by
commission off
Microsoft. Maybe he keeps mentioning LinkedIn.
Skype are watching me on this call, so I have to be very careful. I have to mention LinkedIn 5 times.
And
There's a man behind him with a knife.
what about you, little brother? What are you drinking?
I feel much less gentrified.
Wait, hold on.
than the two.
Let me guess. Coors Light.
Oh God, no! That's the thing. So the boys are always drinking something wild fancy. I didn't go for something fancy, but I just got a different kind of beer. Budvar, Czech lager.
Oh,
Budvar.
Czech, lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. I love a Budvar.
And it says on the label, this is a bit weird, owned by the Czech Republic. The country owns it? I don't know. There you go.
What more could you want? I mean, what more could you want? They gave us,
Good.
you know,
It's nice.
Suchek. They
Suchek,
gave
Kufal.
us. They gave us fancy bridges in Prague, and now they're giving us good beers as well. I mean, what don't they have?
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. What are you drinking?
Oh, thanks, Ushin. She's got in there late, but someone asked me. But I am on the Red Stripe Jamaican lager. Don't know if you
Jamaican lager.
Don't know if you ever had a Red Stripe before.
Never even heard of it.
It's good. And it comes in like a large can of like a pint, like 5, 6, 8 mils. So
good.
it's like
Nice.
tall as your head.
So it's warm by the time you finish it.
Not the pace I go.
That's what my bottle looks like, a bottle of wine, but it's just one huge bottle of beer.
Massive.
It's lethal, like it's lethal. Although it says on the side like it's brewed in the UK, so I don't know what makes it Jamaican.
But I think they say the same thing about Foster's, that it's Australian beer, but it's actually from the UK.
Yeah, maybe it's a style that they have in Jamaica. And sure, they're our Caribbean brethren, you know. So I'll take that.
Big up.
So anyway, boys, chapter title was A Conspiracy Unmasked. Now, who wants to do the 20-second roundup? Oshin, you ready? Clock's ticking.
The boys meet Mary, get to Frodo's house. Frodo, they all have baths, which is a bit strange, and they have their supper again because they're hobbits. And then it turns out that the boys already know Frodo isn't planning on staying in this gaff, and he's leaving, and they make plans to leave, basically.
Yeah, long and short of it there, yeah. So the start of the chapter, they are getting the ferry across the river, which is obviously a legendary moment in the movies. You know, Frodo's coming and he jumps it across, and they could have tightened the book, but I don't think they cut it that fucking tight, do they?
Yeah, I don't think they cut it that tight, but as soon as they got across the river, didn't they look behind? Because Sam with his fucking ears
Hawkeyes.
of a dog. Hawkeye ears.
Sam is a dog!
Sam's a dog.
He's a
He
dog.
sniffed out the Black Rider across the river.
Yeah.
No, well, do you know why Sam did turn around?
Because it's the furthest from the shower he's ever been.
Yeah, this is the fucking moment.
Never
This
crossed
is-
that
this is
river.
it.
Yeah,
He's
it
the
wasn't in
only
that
one.
field.
So he turned around, he's like saying goodbye to the Shire. And he's seen this fucking thing. I can't even describe what it was doing. It wasn't just standing there looking at them though.
No.
It was like
Slithering
waving,
around.
slithering around or sniffing.
Sulked away, didn't it?
Yeah. I don't know about you boys. Deggy, what did you think? I thought that Buckland sounded absolutely class.
Oh, it seemed like a little haven, didn't it? It's just like, you know, just its own little piece of perfection. You know your neighbour, they're sound, they don't want to know anybody else. It's just, for like a hermit like myself, it sounds perfect. You know, I don't want to know anybody new. Fuck off, yeah.
But
I don't think it's exactly like that though. It's like living with 100 of your family. I mean, I love my family. I'm going to cut this out.
No, you're not. But like the way that Buckland is described is like, well, I wanted to ask you, have we left the Shire yet? Because
Yeah.
I think it's up for interpretation.
I felt like we were on the edge. I felt like you were still there, but just barely. You know,
Like, I feel like the boys in the Shire don't consider Buckland as the Shire.
They're outsiders, blow-ins.
Yeah, or they think that it's like a weird colony. But to everyone outside the Shire, it's kind of like how Cork look at the rest of Ireland. You know, like, we're all just pretending to be Cork. But obviously, everyone abroad just doesn't know the difference between Cork and the rest of Ireland. I don't know. What did you think? Ocean, what did you think?
I think, to Merry and Pippin, I think they think it's the Shire. Because that's like where they're from, innit? Frodo grew up there in this brandy place. Well, I'm not sure where it is, a Brandy Hall. I don't think he grew up in Brandy Hall, but he grew up in Brandy Buck before he
I
moved
think you're
in
right. I think he did
Bilbo.
grow up in Brandy Hall, eh?
Whatever one it is. Too many brandies. And even the boy's name wasn't even Brandy. He changed it. Why did he pick Brandy? At the start, it says that it was founded by some guy called Gorenhand or something stupid.
Gorandad,
Yeah.
Old Book.
But his name was Old Buck, and then he picked Brandy Buck. You think he just like
He's a
Brandy?
big drinker.
Yeah, it's a big
drinker.
big red nose in him and just
Yeah.
loves the sauce.
Yeah,
What about
and
Guinness Book?
But it's like a town though, right? It's a big fuck off
Oh,
town.
yeah,
It's not just one
basically.
gaff.
I think it's like a wee shanty town. Like, started off as like, right, we need a house, like an Amish house. They build a barn, and then they just keep building rooms, and then digging into the ground and building more holes, and just extra little bits come on, and people coming with like fiberglass sheds and building walls out of fucking plastic bags.
you're turning me off this, Paul. You know, here I thought it was a haven, and now you make it sound like a shithole. You know, I have to rethink my whole perception of it. Like,
Well, they did mention that unlike the rest of the Shire, people here close their doors.
And lock them.
What the fuck was that about?
They're too close to the edge.
The edge
All
of
locked
what?
on brandy.
What are they expecting to walk in like?
Outsiders.
Trolls.
Fucking
know.
wolves or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
Imagine
Queer
an
folk.
ant knocked on your door.
I also love how they repeatedly kind of state that they can swim and that makes them queer.
Yeah, that's strange.
What is that
Don't be
about?
swimming.
They
Can't be
shouldn't
at
be
that.
swimming. It's unnatural. Yeah, if hobbits were supposed to swim, they would have been born with flippers.
But they do have massive feet. They probably would be savage swimmers.
Would these be like a relative of the likes of Schmiegel and Deagle? Because those boys were on the river, and these boys like the river. You know, could be immigrants, whatever.
Immigrants. Even when I was to Bears, I knew it was the immigrants.
But it said he was from the Shire, didn't he?
So we're not going to start blaming the immigrants now, Ocean, please. This podcast has to go out. But I think if you think of it like chronologically, so the hobbits came from the east and then settled in the west, and then some of them a couple of hundred years later went east kind of again across the river. So I don't think that these are Stuart hobbits or anything like that related to Schmiegel, because they are like, it's within living memory that your man set up Buckland, isn't it? So they know his name and all that kind of stuff. So it's probably only 100 years ago or so, or two, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm guessing here.
I'm just thinking, like, descendants-wise, it must be some sort of relative of somebody who came over from the same boys who live... What's the name of the river where the ring is found?
Brandy one?
No, Anduin.
No.
Anduin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest river. Well, I tell you what, they obviously all can't swim in Buckland. Otherwise, Frodo's parents wouldn't be brown bread, would they?
True, yeah.
It's their own fault.
Maybe they.
I mean,
should.
people who can swim can still drown, like.
I suppose that's true.
Plus, when you're murdered by God and he's just putting his fucking boat on your head, no matter if you can swim or not, I'd say he sank the boat. Like, he stood with his head on his foot.
Paul, we're
right
not
on
getting
their
into
heads.
this scalding hot take that you had last time. So moving on, right? So the boys land into Buckland and they go to Frodo's new gaff. And Frodo had the boys move everything there and make the house ready, and he's not even going to live there. Is he a dick?
It's a bit of a strange situation. Like, I don't know about... Well, no, I do, because it happened recently. I helped you move. I did not go into your house and set out all your little ornaments and put them exactly where they were in the last house. Like, that's fucked up. That's really weird.
Is it weirder that he's done it, or weirder that he knew where they went?
Both.
Yeah. It's not only weird, but it's a bit intrusive as well, isn't it? This is where your little knickers go, Frodo. And...
Did they just know that Frodo's rich and they're like, well, he's gonna, sort us out when he kicks the bucket? Like, they better be nice to him.
It's some job. Thinking about the madams they had to put around the house.
Oh,
such a job.
Just saying, I wouldn't do it for any use.
But also, if they knew that he was leaving and they were saying like, right, well, you're leaving, and we know you were leaving for ages, and we're going to come with you. It's like, why the fuck did you plan the house out?
Yeah.
Nobody going to live in it.
You got to keep up the illusion, though, right?
I think you're right, Deggy. I think you're right.
There's a plan going on. Greater things at play here,
The wheels
Even
are in
amongst
motion.
hobbits.
And the elephant in the room, lads. Fatty Bolger.
Literally. Is he the elephant in the room? I don't think.
Like, what is going on there? Who is this fella?
They don't really. Do they explain it in the book? Do they like go through what he looks like? And because you sent in a picture earlier, and that's a bit different than what I had in mind anyway.
Well, that picture was from the Lord of the Rings online game from 2002.
Right. Was Fatty Bulger in it?
Yeah, it was.
Could you play as him, or was he just like a NPC?
I used an NPC if you started. I don't know. I've never played it. I didn't have online games when I was 12 or whatever. Like,
Fair enough.
The picture you sent in, he has quite a engorged pelvic area, but it doesn't even look like it's like, whoa, he's hung. It's like, whoa, he has an issue. Like,
Bull just wants to talk about willies again.
There we go.
Do it every episode.
There we go. Every episode has to bring up the willy. What about Fatty Bulger? Deggy, what's your impressions of him?
It's like, look, the man clearly loves his food. He sounds Fatty Bulger. He sounds like a bad Italian mobster, doesn't he? Just like a fucking, just a shitty, like, a film that never made it to cinema. One you buy straight from DVD. Fatty Bulger, a shitty mobster.
Oh yeah. What was your man in
Whitey
Boston?
Bulger, isn't it?
Yeah,
Whitey Bulger, yeah. Fatty Bulger. His brother.
His evil twin.
Fatty does play a part in Lord of the Rings, so he's got like a part of the plan, isn't he?
He's cute enough. Like, I mean, if he was, he's staying behind. Now, whether he knew he was doing that,
I'm just
he
laughing.
knew he wasn't
here,
going with them.
Laughing at what our international listeners think you mean when you say he's cute.
Yeah, he's a cute hero.
Cute little thing, so he is.
He's a clever little. He's sly because he basically gets a free gaff until the boys save the world and come back.
He's fucking putting himself in danger, is he not? Though.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Yeah.
Is that really being clever, or is he a fucking gobshite?
Nah, but he has some pair of balls in him, so he'd be able to handle any Black Rider.
He doesn't know what a Black Rider is. He doesn't have a clue.
Like, does he have a breeze? Like,
no.
he's going to stay behind. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? He's going to stay behind and pretend to be Frodo. And,
while the Black Riders knock on the door.
He's going to even walk around Frodo's new house dressed as Frodo for anyone walking by, so they delaying the amount of time before people realise Frodo has left the Shire. That's his plan.
He's a hero.
Yeah,
He's a fucking lunatic.
He doesn't know what he's getting in for. Like, he doesn't have a clue.
What's he going to do if the Black Rider's just knock on his door one day and he's wearing a robe that says Frodo Baggins on the side of it?
Nah, his underwear say Frodo. That's what I imagine.
He's got the little Frodo wig on because he's actually bald. And then
the wigs are on his feet.
3 massive figures, like 3 times his height, with rusty swords, like looking at him at the door, hissing, Baggins, and he's going to be like, "Oh no, I'm actually fat."
Yeah, it's a weird plan.
What's his plan like? Oh my god! And so as the day goes on, and we get back maybe to Fatty a little bit, because I want to get back into this lad. I don't understand him, but then the boys go for a big bath.
No homo.
Separately though, which is all right.
Together but separate.
Well, what's the so?
Is it separate though?
It's
the
one
same
room,
room,
one
yeah.
room, 3 baths. Yeah.
Yeah,
because they say it gets so wet in there.
Yeah, Pippin has to mop it up because he's splashing around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gets a bit too
And they
excited
have
singing
bat
the
songs. They have a good bat song. Like, I might actually learn that.
But this is actually a genre, apparently. It's one of Bilbo's very favourite bat songs. First of all,
your favourite
how
bat
did
song?
they know what an old man who is 70 years older than them favourite songs in the bat were? Right?
Yeah.
Like, fucking hobbits are nuts, lads. Like,
Because
what?
Sam was just listening. Sam can hear everything in the shower.
He doesn't talk, though, does he? He never
It
puts
seems like taking baths together must have been a common thing.
Is it like GAA showers after a match? Like, it's just a done thing. You don't.
That's the
think
way I
don't
seen it.
bat
Like,
an
you know,
eyelid.
like,
Yeah, kind of like a Turkish bath or something.
You don't sing. You don't sing in the shower, though.
yeah, it's true. Like, if there was a line of showers in a GAA club, you wouldn't say anything. But I suppose if there was a load of baths, you'd be like, this is a bit weird.
The only reason I played football is for the singing in the shower.
So you were the singer in the shower, were you?
Yeah, do you know about their songs? I don't know about you, right? But I read every single song in these books to the rhythm of that song that Pippin sings in the third movie when Faramir's dying. So, like, hold on.
Yeah, I know the one you're on about. I do it much more upbeat, and I do it from the beat of one of them songs from Black Flag. Like,
A sea shanty, like.
Yeah,
yeah, sea
it's like
shanty.
a-
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
do it like that. It's always yo ho, bum bum, do 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 do. That's always the way it
Yeah.
goes in my head.
Yeah, I do
basically.
something
Does
similar.
anybody listen to
Oh,
it?
right. I tried to listen to it because I knew what I was hearing in my head was wrong as fuck. But whatever audio I had on it, I couldn't understand the words, so I didn't like it. But like the words, Ocean, are very upbeat, and I know.
Oh.
I wish I just don't have the skill to hear it in the beat that you're like saying it there. I wish because it makes it more enjoyable. Because mine is like.
Depression session.
For the bath
Yeah,
at the
what-
close of the day. Oh, water hot. Oh, I can't do it. Yeah, you know the
Maybe
one.
I listened to the audiobook first. The audiobook guy is Rob Inglis, and I don't know what Tolkien sounded like, but I imagine it's what Tolkien sounded like. And he just does it like Oisin said, like a sea shanty, and it just sounds so cool. Like Tolkien singing to me.
Did Tolkien write like sheet music for it,
Probably did.
or like did that guy just guess?
Who knows? He was a fucking psycho. Like, God knows what he did. Like, he probably wrote it in like, classical German high music of the Middle fucking Ages or something like.
What about they literally wrote a song for the event of leaving the gaff?
Oh yeah. I like that though. That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know, right? And you can shout snore at me if you want, right? Because I'm just about to go a little bit heavy in here. But like before the advent of radio and television, that was pretty much everyone's pastime. Definitely in Ireland anyway, was just sitting around singing at each other.
Yeah, they still fucking do
That's
it.
true.
Yeah.
I was just like, it's the only thing you had to do, like, especially when the sun went down and you couldn't play hurling. You just be like, right, sit down there now, I'm going to sing it. Oh, okay, right.
You'll remember it and you'll sing it to someone else.
And it was all pure droll.
Yeah, always to the tune of All Shall Fade as well, the Pippin song.
Yeah. I'll sing their song like a Shannon was like, hey, for the bath at the close of day that washes the weary mood away.
Pretty much, and still less depressing than the one I had in my head. It's good. The second song is even better though, isn't it? Because it's based on that song from The Hobbit. I can't even remember the tune now because all these other ones are in my head and I'm musically illiterate.
Yeah,
You
the
know, it's
Misty
like
Mountain song.
Yeah, it's the only good part of the whole Hobbit movies.
Where Thorin Oakenshield sings it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the far
that's it.
over.
Just at the end of the meal, at the start of that first film, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be a parallel to that kind of bit. So they sing.
I didn't get that. I need to reread it.
Yeah. It's good though. Is that the only good bit of the whole Hobbit movies?
Oh, it's downhill from there, from the start,
Yeah.
like, isn't it?
I've seen them all in the cinema, and then I rewatched the YouTube clips of, like, the battles and the good bits, and I don't remember a fucking bit of it. I think I fell asleep during one of this in the cinema to one of them.
The only
Shite.
bit I remember is going down the barrels in the river of all three films. That's really the only bit that stands out.
I remember Smog as well.
Oh yeah, because Benedict Cumberbatch.
What about you, Daggy? Do you like the Hobbit movies? Probably do.
Again, no. No. Like, it was the same with me. I watched them all maybe twice and I still, asked me to pick out a moment and I won't be able to, It was shite enough.
Billy Connolly's in it.
Yeah.
That's who?
He's Dane.
Oh, one of the lads in the town.
He's
Oh, they're all-
Thorin's cousin or uncle.
There's
or
Stephen Fry's in it as well,
Oh,
isn't he?
yeah. When you see Stephen Fry walking around, you're like,
Yeah,
fuck
you've
lost me.
off. Will you? And I like Stephen Fry, but fuck off.
I hated the goblin bit when they were in Goblin Town and the goblins started singing and it was like a rock. They just went weird with music and it was like a rock fucking pop song. Like, what are you doing?
Did they?
Yeah.
I remember him. I don't remember that. Jeez, I
Ugh.
must have drowned it out. Like, it was just too bad to watch.
I hate
fucking
the big
awful.
CGI jowl on that orc, like, or whatever he was. And he's,
The fucking chicken neck thing.
it's just,
Give me melted face and no arm, grog fella spits at a rock any day.
Tune is good though. The tune is good though.
Yeah, the first tune, yeah.
That's true.
Here, lads, I actually have a question. Right, getting back to the chapter here because we've gone off tangent here, right? So the conspiracy is unmasked.
Mm-hmm.
Merry and Pippin and Fatty Bolger, to his credit, and Sam, of course, the informant, all basically round on Frodo and like, here, we know what the crack is. We know you to get the fuck out of the Shire. We know it's something to do with the ring, and we know that you're in danger. So that's grand, right? So that's their conspiracy. They knew this all along, right? And that raised a question for me, which is I thought was interesting. In the movies, when do Pippin and Merry find out about the ring?
A very good point.
I think in the pub in Bree, is it?
When Frodo takes the ring and makes the fellowship, right? Because they're all there with him.
In Rivendell, then.
No,
So it's not till Rivendell.
Yeah, that's what I
No,
thought.
Strider.
Yeah, he disappears in Bree when the ring falls on his finger.
Yeah.
So surely they see that and be like, oh, what the fuck is this?
But they're
Must be
stupid
the
in the
ring.
films.
What, they see him disappear?
They're just dumb in the films. They don't understand anything.
When do they find
yeah,
out, that Sauron is going to kill Frodo, so that's why they're running?
I think it's Rivendell. There's a very famous line at the end of just when they all say, "On my axe and my sword," and then one of them, Merry or Pippin, goes, "Right, where are we going?" Isn't it?
Yeah.
But in the
yeah.
book, Merry's on point. Like, he is the smartest of the whole bunch. He knows everything, and he's really mature. For some reason in the films, they made him stupid.
Yeah, Oisin, do you know what? Credit where it's due. Merry's some pup, isn't he? Different class.
He's smart. Like, he's everything prepared. He's like getting Pippin to clean the bathroom because he's an idiot, and he knows everything. But in the film, he's just like, what are we doing, boys?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, Merry, in fairness to him, different gravy. 5 ponies in the fucking shed. Got the plan ready. He was fucking spying on Bilbo his years. Yeah. Credit where it's due. Like, he's not like fucking Pippin, which, as you know, lads, I've a massive bone of contention with Pippin. Like, he killed Gandalf.
Yeah, or did he
Wanker.
I think just for people who haven't read the book who are joining into the podcast to listen to us summarise it, there's a bit in the book where Merry has known about the ring for years. Like, he's watched Bilbo vanish in front of his eyes when the sackful of Bagginses arrived up the hill.
Yeah, and caught a glint of gold.
Yeah, and then so he figured that bit out, and then he's also got a read of his book, the Hobbit book, there and back again.
cheeky.
So he got to figure out what the ring was about and what it does.
I don't know why, but when he said that, I imagined him like crawling up the walls, like some sort of ghost or something crawling up the wall, like reading it over his shoulder.
It sounds like anybody and everybody was allowed into Bilbo's house because like everyone knew there was gold in there, or
just
could
be
tell
in
you outright that it wasn't. It's like everybody's had a good look.
But they also had an inside man the whole time.
They had an inside man.
And Sam.
Agent Sam.
Inside dog.
Yeah.
inside
Here, I have a question about Sam. Are the boys bullying him?
100%.
100%.
Bull straight in there with the...
He's talked down to every time.
You're the expert there on being bullied. So
What does it feel
Yeah,
like?
go on, tell us, Bull, what do you
Give us your
reckon?
professional insight there.
Well, they talk over him and they never give him time to talk, and he always has to do everything, all the hard bits.
Imagine Bull getting PTSD reading this chapter.
But they said something like even getting out of the bath or get breakfast first. And it's like, oh, if he doesn't trip over his feet first. And he never defends himself. Like, he just takes whatever guff that they have for him.
They
There's
give
no
him
respect
some
for him.
amount of guff, like.
They do.
They-
But
and what do they say is like, we have to go with Frodo. Because Sam is a nice fella, but sure, he'll probably fall over.
But they did compliment him and say he's very brave and he'll jump down a dragon's neck if needs be. But then they said if he can not fall over his feet first. So it's like a little backhanded fucking insult in between. But He's loyal, but he's useless, so he's a dog.
Sam the greatest of them all. Sam the greatest of them all.
Yeah.
And I was listening back to one of our earlier podcasts, Owen, and I think now's a good time to correct you. But you were talking about the ring bearers that weren't Sauron, ever. And you said only one was a man, and then there was 3 hobbits. You're wrong, it was fucking 4 hobbits. Fucking Sam is a ring bearer. Fucking no bother to him.
He had the ring for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Fucking takes it off and gives it away. But anyway, yes, I'm looking forward to like him developing over as the books continue.
Yeah.
So, right, yeah, Merry, different class. So then the boys sit down to have a dinner, don't they? And, lads...
just mushrooms.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. Did I read that wrong?
No, I don't know. Frodo gave Freddie and Mary the basket of mushrooms. And then I assumed that they already had some grub there. I don't know. Maybe they had nothing. And they just had a big yoke of mushrooms. But that's fucked up, like, again.
Did you just ask here, do you have any problem with eating exclusively mushrooms?
I've done that for dinner before.
Just a plate of mushrooms.
Big yoke of mushrooms.
Like I said, Rachel hates them and she doesn't want them to be cooked like 5 times in a week. So I just have to eat them all in one go.
So you sit down and have one big pot of mushroom. You are messed up, man.
The boys
what about Sam saying nothing through the whole thing? He's been caught rotten. He's been spying on Frodo. There's a lot of like betrayal up until now. You know, like if Frodo didn't like any of these people, he'd be like, "Jeez, these are awful sneaky bastard." And, you know, Schmeagles.
Yeah, he took a chance, didn't he? He took a chance.
Yeah, like who was it? I don't know whether it was Gandalf or Gildor or whoever. It was like telling Frodo, "Bring the most trusted people you can." And then he finds out, oh, can't trust any yet. Good stuff.
Yeah, you're all plotting behind my back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Sam's excuse as well. So he says, oh, Gildor said that we should bring trusted people. But like, but you hadn't seen Merry since
Yeah,
then.
you don't have a clue, like.
You already had a fucking retcon there, Sam. Merry was already in the loop by the time you ran into Gildor.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking pup, yeah.
Literally. Pup.
Yeah, literally, he's a dog.
Frodo says again, like, I'll kick you to be sure.
You condone and kicking dogs.
When he was asleep. He says, even when you're snoring, I'll kick you to make sure you're asleep. Because he doesn't trust him.
Yeah. But boys, bit of foreshadowing here. Did you notice how Frodo carried on with the mushrooms?
Yeah, but possessive with the mushrooms.
Oh, they're mine. Don't you go near them.
He's my precious.
Yeah, they say the hobbits love them especially, which is why he got such a hiding off Farmer Marget.
That's exactly it. Frodo went back several times knowing he probably would get a hiding just from mushrooms, so that shows his want.
Do you reckon he liked Mrs. Maggot as well? You think maybe that's why he got a hiding?
The Queen of Farmers or something, does he call her?
Maybe that's a hot take, lads. I don't know, but you know that.
He's got 5 daughters.
There, yeah.
Mushrooms are a good excuse. Jesus.
As good excuse as any.
Hiding a young fella for taking mushrooms, I don't know about that, but hiding a young fella for being in bed with Mrs. Maggot.
Maybe we got it all wrong and it's like old Farmer Maggot has seen Frodo's mushroom and he's like, get away from my daughter.
He's seen his? Oh man.
That's the second dick joke this podcast now.
I have a timer here of every 20 minutes it beeps. And
so I'm on LinkedIn and you're on Dix. Alright.
I need a
and Deggy, I just want to pick your brain just because I love hearing you talk. Would you sit down now and eat a plate of mushrooms? I
would, in my fuck. I think they're one of the most disgusting things ever growing on this earth. I think they're absolutely... And I'm not a reserved eater or anything, but mushrooms are gross. It's horrible. I wouldn't be taking a baiting for some anyway, that's for sure.
But now when you say you're not a reserved eater, would you say that you'd like to, maybe exotic tastes? Would you eat like vegetables, for example?
Oh yeah, I go exotic to say that I've had a carrot once or twice in my life. It's no, but I like the flavors of the world. I'm prone to an old Indian or an old Chinese. I sampled the delicacies of these foreign lands, Ross. And
but the China garden isn't from China.
Yeah. Well, look, Owen, whatever. You're nitpicking. It's good grub.
It is good grub. Don't get me wrong. It's good grub.
Very good grub. And lads, can we go back to Fatty Bolger for a moment?
I'm sick of Fatty Bulger, to be honest.
There's nothing else to talk about.
I love Fatty Bulger. I think he's a great man. A great man. And I just wanted to say, do you think we were robbed of him in the movies?
I don't see what's great about him. Why do we need to carry him on? Like, what are we missing out on?
I'd say yes, because there is a few little things. Like last episode, we talked about Farmer Maggot and that we didn't see him in the movie, but we did see him in the movie. I figured it out. Like you see the lads robbing all the vegetables, and you see his scythe over the corn.
Yeah.
But then a bit after that, a black rider turns up and he's like Shire Baggins to someone, and then he's like, no, this is he says it's Bag End, it's down the road or something like that. That's meant to be Farmer Maggot. I'm not sure if you remember that bit, but he basically scares the shite out of some hobbit to tell him.
Baggins is around here.
Yeah, that's Farmer Maggot. Apparently, anyway. So at least Fatty Bulger should have had at least a few lines like that.
Just a shout out, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, bud.
I'll mind the house.
I'll keep my powder dry here, but this isn't the last we see of Fatty.
Do we only see him like at the the very end when they come home?
Yeah, I mean, kind of, but like
Don't spoil it.
The movies end very early into the last book.
Yeah, I heard there's a reckoning of the Shire. Where
Scouring, yeah.
Scouring of the Shire.
Scouring, yeah.
Jesus.
Do you reckon that the boys give Fatty Bulger another thought? When they're off doing what they're doing, like, the Black Riders could have been there within a matter of hours. Like, he could be fucked.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They could have tight, didn't they? They could have fucking tight, like. They went for a nap. They went for a fucking nap, like.
Yeah.
But they also didn't know where they were. Right?
But they knew that it was 20 miles to the bridge.
Yeah.
And 20 miles back.
It was not 10.
No, 20.
Unless 20 and 20, 40. So unless horses can swim. And horses can fucking swim. They can
but
definitely
not
swim.
across a big river like that.
In the film, you see them legging it to where they talk about where the bridge is.
Yeah, they have to go
So I
around.
guess.
So what speed does a horse do? 20 mile an hour, like?
What? How long is a marathon?
26
miles.
miles.
32 miles.
26, and that's like what, 3.5 hours thereabouts?
Well, for what? For a person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the record is like 2 hours flat. 30 couple of seconds.
And you reckon a horse would be a little bit slower than a man in a marathon, but not much. So, like, if they're booted...
Would he be slower?
What?
No, yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
Have you ever seen a horse?
You think
Oh, yeah.
Horses can run like 50
what's
kilometers
the Grand
an hour.
National like? That's like 4 miles.
Aye, but a horse can't run for an hour straight, though. That's why you have to jog, run.
I still
I'm
think a horse could do it.
I watched this show on telly, boys, right? Before you all jumped down me fucking throat. Bastards, right? I watched the show on telly, and they said if you let every animal in the world compete in the Olympics, the only event humans would still win is the marathon.
Because we can sweat.
So like a cheetah would win the sprint, a gorilla would win the weightlifting, or a kangaroo would win the boxing.
Where do we pay for this?
A kangaroo would win. Kangaroo versus gorilla, and a kangaroo still wins.
Yeah, because he's not going to be grabbing, So he's not going to
Who do I pay?
This is like a punch-out game.
Can you put like boxing gloves on an elephant's foot? Is that
No, exactly. So you can't. So that's why they don't win. But the one event that humans are legit top tier in the animal kingdom is long distance running, because we sweat, so we can run for a long time. Do you ever see them hunters in Kenya?
Yeah, I've seen that.
You know what I mean? And they just like outlast an animal. So
Yeah, but
A
surely
horse-
we win the javelin as well. Like, and,
no, they're going with the elephant.
Nah,
They're going
gorilla.
with the elephant.
Gorilla would fuck that javelin 3 times as far.
I'd say a gorilla if he wanted to.
Nah, not the length.
Did you ever see a gorilla throw a lump of shite? Imagine javelin in his hand.
You can train a gorilla to do anything.
Yeah, I tell you, boys, we win the marathon. They do a race in Wales once a year where a man races a horse in a marathon.
I'm Googling this after, but okay.
The man wins as often as not, and it's not like the best marathon runners in the world are
But
competing.
the horse doesn't want to even race, I'm sure.
But I think
the
Ross
motivation?
has a point there as well, because do you know, like, all the cross country or the marathon sprinters are like Kenyans, and I know it's meant to be quite high, the
altitude.
less oxygen.
altitude is, but as well, like, years and years and like thousands of years ago, they used to have to be really, really fit to basically chase prey until the prey stopped running. So it's
not even that long ago.
So it's in our genetics to be fitter than animals. or fitter than prey that we can actually
Just
eat.
that one particular, like, we can't outsprint an animal, but we've eyes in the front of our head, so, you know, you can look out behind you or whatever if you're in a community.
So where was this going? Something about them getting to the Brandywine Bridge?
Yeah, sorry, yes.
How long will a horse take to get round to Frodo's Gap?
I'd say, 4 hours maybe, 6 at a push.
I think this shows that, like, the Black Riders are incompetent. Like, how hard is it to catch 4 children? You know, they've been trying for months.
Remember in the movie where they were chasing the Urukai and they were trying to catch them, and then Aragorn says like, "Evil gives speed to these creatures." He says something like that. Why not the horses as well? They just fucking Sauron gives them a little spell, and then get around the Brandywine in 10 seconds there.
Up you.
Whiz around.
Maybe they stopped in that pub that Pippin was talking about.
Yeah,
The Golden
Perch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perch.
Fuck it, I don't know. I just think the boys taking a nap was a bit much.
Yeah.
Bit
Basically.
fucking much, like.
Sum it up.
Bit much.
All the Black Riders went to the Golden Perch to practice stabbing pillows.
Yeah, when I'm gonna get him, I'm gonna do this. And here, right at the end of the chapter, Frodo has a dream.
Now, what was that about?
What is that about, like?
Is that literally him foreshadowing, like, getting into a man, like Valinor?
What?
It's the only time he goes to the sea, right?
Getting into a man.
Here's the 4th Dick reference.
He read like some sort of fan fiction.
A man is the name of the land across the sea.
Oh,
A man.
Valinor. That's
And
what I thought.
Valinor.
Oh, you think it's him dreaming about going to die?
That's all I had. Just his foreshadowing for the very end of the book.
I had some notes for it, and it was like the first bit was he was looking.
Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Owen Duffy's literary corner.
So the first bit was he was looking out a high window over tangled trees. Now in the next chapter, Tom Bombadil lives in a house on a hill looking over the forest, which has tangled trees. Point about.
Fucking good stuff.
So he's basically foreshadowing the story. So it's like, and then creature sniffing is the Nazgul still following him. He heard the sea. Again, that's the foreshadowing of the end of the story where Frodo goes to Valinor across the sea. And then a tall white tower. I was thinking that might be Valinor itself because, you know, white, and I know it's not heaven, but it's like where they go to die.
I
so
thought
it's
Isengard.
it could be Isengard. And then,
It's probably Saruman's tower, yeah. Because it's white at the minute because he's in it.
well, I don't know if it is white, is it?
Isengard.
No, Orthanc isn't white, no.
No, I don't
I
think
know
so.
it's not, but it's the White Wizard's tower. Maybe it's like that.
Bum, bum, bum.
And then,
Plus Gandalf is there.
No,
at the minute,
because that tower is older than the race of the wizards on Earth, actually. It was built by the Numenorians.
I'm not saying it's white. I'm saying he's symbolising it as white because the wizard's white.
yeah, that could
To
be.
be honest, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, you're definitely wrong, like, but yeah, it's great.
And then it says at the end as well, a light came in the sky and there was noise of thunder. And then I thought that was just basically at the start of the next chapter, Merry is banging on the door with a candle in his hand, and I'm like, that's just basically Frodo hearing what he's hearing in real life in his dream. So that's what I got from that.
Good gear. I had a separate take on the dream. If
Let's
you'd like to hear it.
fucking hear it.
Where was the ring made? Wasn't the ring made in Valinor? I thought
Was it?
he was dreaming the history of the ring. That was it.
Valinor's across the sea. Was it made there?
I thought it was. I thought Sauron was over there for a while and he was imprisoned in Numenor, and that's where he tricked the elves, was over there when he, disguised himself as the handsome man or whatever.
Yeah. Who made the ring?
Sauron.
Yeah,
Sauron did.
Celebrimbor made the other 21 or however many.
Sauron taught Celebrimbor how to make the rings, and Celebrimbor made the 3 elven ones, I think, and Sauron made the rest. But even though your man made them and Sauron didn't for the big 3, he still used Sauron's magic, so they're tainted.
The big tree.
Oh, okay.
What about you, Dave? What did you think of this fucking dream?
Same with the boys, I thought it was a bit of a foreshadowing of the adventure that lied ahead, That's kind of what I was getting.
You don't think it was him dreaming about being inside a man?
Do you know what? I didn't, and then Bull said it, and I can't stop seeing it.
What man are you imagining then?
It's all I can think
The man
about.
is the name of the island.
Starting to worry about you, Bull.
20-minute counter.
Oh dear. Any hot takes?
I couldn't find a hot take for this chapter, really. Except the fact that I'm going to carry on my last hot take of Farmer Maggot. As soon as the lads lift off the ferry port and are across the river, the Black Rider's there, and he's like, "Where's fucking Farmer Maggot with me lads?" But they're gone.
You think he was going to sell them out until Merry comes?
Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Because Frodo rode Mrs. Maggot, you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
With his little mushroom.
That's
I have a hot take that I just thought about.
Right.
And maybe like Fatty Bulger is in on that conspiracy. Like maybe that's a conspiracy that he's in with the Black Riders.
He's going to sell them off when they come to the door.
He survives. How the fuck does he survive if they're after him?
Yeah.
No, that's it. That's where it ends. I've only just thought about it.
Oisín, any hot takes?
The hottest I came to a hot take was Frodo was as sneaky as a fart. Like he thought he was being all sneaky the whole time, and the boys absolutely knew what he was up to.
This is the man who's going to sneak into Mordor.
That's the way we were trusting. Good God.
So unless anyone has anything else, I'd say we leave it there. So lads, will we?
That's grand.
Yeah, next chapter is a busy chapter where we're meeting my favourite character, I'd say maybe outside of Gandalf in the whole series.
Is it Tom Bombadil?
Oh, of course it's fucking Tom Bombadil. Jesus Christ. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So, right, I'll say goodbye. I'm your host Ross, and from Owen.
Goodbye, and thank you for listening.
And Bull.
Goodbye.
And Oisín.
Good luck.
Deglan O'Douchigan.
Bye.
What? Do that again. Do it. Daggy.
Bye. Good luck.
Right. Right, go on, fuck off.